Hi everyone. Today we will learn about basic cube views. So in that we will cover cube view templates, then cube view sharing, POV shortcuts, object lookup, member filters, expansions, time functions and expansions, and then last member overrides. So let's start with cube views. So cube views are flexible reporting artifacts that enable cube data to be presented and edited in various ways by utilizing security, configuration, formatting, properties, member formulas, and calculations. So nearly all cube views features provided in the Windows applications are available to users of modern browser experience as well. So cube views are our main building blocks of report in OneStream. Then here you can see like you can create cube view at once and then you can use it in data grids, reports, Excel, spreadsheet, dashboard, report groups, extensible documents, etc. So what you need to do is you just have to set your POV, rows and columns, and you will be able to query accept data. So a richly formatted web report can be created from CubeView with no report design task necessary. You can directly export that CubeView in the report itself. Now, what are the uses of CubeViews? CubeViews are used for various purposes, like you can use CubeView in forms, data explorer grids, report books, extensible documents. In dashboard, you can use like again data explorer reports, source for detailed reports, source for chart, and then in Excel, it's used for analysis as well as data entry. So you can say CubeView can query and submit data into Cube. They are flexible in how they present data. So moving to the next, let's start with Cube point of view. So in Windows app, you can see this Cube POV and this is default POV for running Cube views. When you open Cube views, you can see one POV here as well. Okay, so if you are not setting this Cube POV, then this will be used for running Cube view. And this one is unique to each user. But when you are setting Cube POV here in Cube views, then this will be overwritten by CubeView POV. Now let's see how we can copy Cube POV in Cube views. So now you have seen like here you have Cube POV which is unique to each user. Now suppose you want to copy this one to your CubeView POV. So what you can do, you can just right click on that. You can click on copy POV and then you can come here on the POV and then you can just right click and paste POV. This is the first option. Second option is you can just drag and drop this Cube POV into CubeView POV. CubeView templates. So CubeView templates can be used to jumpstart CubeView creation by making copy of template or to share commonly used rows and column sets across the CubeView. We use CubeView templates. So creating and using cube views as a template can increases efficiency and consistency for cube views that have similar formatting and properties for rows and columns. So sharing is more efficient when building and managing cube views. So where you can find that? So you need to go to general setting and then you need to go to sharing. And then here you can see this cube view sharing. It's column sharing, row sharing. You just need to click in this column sharing and you can select. Here I have selected like I need to see, share all the columns and all the rows. And then in the second option, you need to select the QView name. Like in the first one, you can say like which QView should be used for sharing all columns. And here which QView can be used to share all the rows. So that is very important thing. You need to give the name of the QView. Then you can share rows and columns from two different QViews. Like here, if you have seen, I have used two QViews here. Okay. So it's not mandatory that you should use one QView to share column and rows. It depends on your requirement. So if you share rows and columns with another QView, updates are automatically linked. This can make building QView more efficient. So if you are making updates in one template, then it will update all the QView wherever we are using that template. So we should keep that thing in mind. Now, next one is a object lookup. So in QView, you can use this object lookup to search templates or QView styles, parameters, or substitution variable. It assists the application designer when searching for the objects. So it makes our life easier. Now, main part is QView, Designer, and Advanced tab. So whenever you go to Application and then Presentation, QViews, you will be here in the QView page where you can create new QViews. So here also we have two parts, QView groups and QView profiles. So you can create QViews in QView groups and then those groups can be assigned to profiles as we have already seen this type of things. So and those profiles can be used for attachment. So now let's focus on this designer and advanced tab. So you can see in designer tab, you have point of view first. So point of view define fixed dimension member for the entire view. For example, scenario or view, entity, etc. Then you have general settings where you have seen like you can just share rows, columns and all those things. Then in report header, you can just give whatever report header you want to give to your QView. And next thing is rows and column. So rows and columns, here rows often represent accounts or UD dimensions and column usually represents time or scenarios or views. Okay, so you can see here by this way you can just do this. And again, right now we are just checking like how to create QView using templates. So that's why I'm not explaining like how you should add new rows or new columns. Okay, I will just explain properties and all those things. So here now when you have all the rows and columns, after that you have this member filter properties, member filter tab. So these determine how members expand dynamically, like whether you need children, children descendant, base, etc. So this is defined in this member filter tab. Then formatting can be done in this formatting tab. Any data related setting can be done here. Then sharing and column overridden is done here. Now you have both of this designer and advanced tab. Most of the things they have common, but yeah, they are organized in different manner. Like in advance, you can see you can add restriction whether you have to give access to user for modifying data, for calculating data, translating, consolidation, etc. So those settings you can do in advanced tab. And then here you can also see this cube view sharing. This other setting you can say that those are same because here also you have rows, columns, then headers, point of view, all those settings. Now, once you are done with the cube view setting, then you can run that cube view and you will come to Data Explorer Grid. Now here, if you have a bigger cube view, then here we have facility to search any row headers here. So you can see here, I am searching for supplies and it will give me this one. So for the bigger cube views, it's quite beneficial. And then you also have option to expand or collapse rows in the grids. So how you can go there? There are two ways. First one is in the data grid itself, you can just right click and uh, you can click on expand or collapse. Second one, if you need to keep expanded or collapse all the time, then you need to go to, this is cube view, then you need to go click on default, then you need to go to formatting, header format, then in header format, you need to go to format, and here you have that setting, entire cube view, row expansion mode. Here you have these options, use default, collapse or expand all. As per your need, you can select one of them. Next one is member filters, expansions and script. So member filters is what you use to restrict a list of members to what you want. So you can dynamically refer to cubes, global POV or workflow POV. So you can see here, I have given example how you should refer this one. Then example of member filters that return few periods. For example, this will return 2013 M1, this will return M2, M3, etc. Then for the member expansion, like I talked on the previous slide, this is dot children is used for children. Descendant is used for all the descendant members. I descendant is used for including descendant, including that member with descendant, etc. Now, member script is used to define single cell in the cube. So you can see here in cube view, you can just right click and you can just select that option here. You will get this script which will have all the selection of 18 dimension and it will just define that single cell. Now, how to build that member filter builder? So first of all, how you can go there? So this one is your cube view. There you have this member filter option and then you have these columns and rows. Now I have selected this column, that's why you can see here column. Right time you can see here. And then in the columns, you have these rows here. So here you can see this sign. When you click on that sign, you will be entering into member filter builder. And this guides you through member filter script for building those member script basically. So you can access it from multiple way, like from column, from rows, wherever you want to build the member filter. Next is member expansion. Now you know that how you can go to member filter. So there you can see you have multiple options are available. So in expansion, you have these options available here. So expansion utilizes the application metadata to dynamically select and filter the selection. So here you can see I have selected income statement descendants. So what it will give? It will give, this is income statement and these all are descendants. So it will give me this one. If I am just selecting gross income base, then it will give me these two members. Then if I am selecting children of net income, then it will give me these members. So here you can also see we have R, like reverse the normal order of the members is available. These functions are available basically. So here you can see I have given all accounts dot tree descendants inclusive R. So what it will do, it will reverse the order. Like what is the original order? This one, tree descendant inclusive. So here you can see this net income is at the top. But when I am using this reverse function like this one, it's reversing order and this net income is at the bottom. So similar way you can just explore the functions and you can use that as per your need of presentation. Now time functions and expansions. You can see here we have multiple time member expansion functions are available here. They are used to dynamically refer time, like for POV or workflow POV or global POV. Again, in some places you need to remove hard coding and you need to just do that give you as a dynamic. So that place you can just select POV as per your need, like workflow POV or global POV. Now, time functions often have suffix options for the further filter on the result. For example, this one, T hash POV prior one. So what it does, it looks at the POV, whatever it is said, and then it returns one period prior of that POV. Then next one is T hash WF dot all prior in year inclusive. Again, it will look at now workflow POV and returns all the prior periods and current period within the workflow year. It's giving current period as well because we have used inclusive here. Now, time uses specific time expansion in order to span over any desired time members. Example, T hash global year dot base. So what it does, it looks at the global year and it returns all the base member as we have chosen the base. So you can use all these things as per your need. Now, most important is order of CubeView members override. So point of view in right navigation sets initial member for every dimension as we have seen it in first slide itself, like cube POV, which is the initial setting for cube views and which is different for everyone. Now, what is order of overrides of member filter? Now, point of view tab in the cube view overrides right navigation POV. Like if you are setting point of view in cube views, then it's going to override your default cube POV. Second one is column member selections override cube view POV. So if you are selecting column members in your cube views, then it's going to overwrite your cube view POV. And same with the rows member. Like if you are selecting rows and column in your cube view POV, then it's going to overwrite whatever you have set in your cube view POV. That is the first part. Then columns row override members selection overrides row setting. And then rows column override member selection override all other setting. So this is the dominant on all the settings. So whenever you are using this override one for rows and columns, you need to keep all those things in mind. So in next, this is the first part and using this one, you can build a basic cube views. In the next section, like we will see about calculations and then whatever functions we can use in member filter builder. Then you can also see like the parameters, substitution parameters used in cube views. So let's see all those details in the next session. Thank you.